Okay. I have lots of updates. I just love it. That's your Kestis Crossguard. If you want it, you can have just the base saber, or you can have a 3 emitters pack added to your lightsaber.
Welcome to the Saber Factory.
Hello there, and welcome at the Saber Factory again. I'm Kevin, and this is the monthly digest of August. Actually, it's a monthly digest of the past 3 months, because I gave you and myself a little breather. It was the summer, a lot of people are on vacation, so I figured that there wouldn't necessarily need to be major updates, but as you can see on the table in front of me, I have lots of updates. New lightsabers joining the catalog, and it's not just new lightsabers, but there will be another monthly digest in September. At the end of this video, I will already show you some of the new models that will be added to the catalog, because of course November, so there's Black November coming up, and then there's the holiday season, so of course we're going to change a lot of the catalog, and Nexus Sabers has come up with a lot of new models, and it's rare enough to say it, a lot of new dueling sabers and VHC sabers. So yeah, I'll go in depth with all of those models today. This video is chaptered, so feel free to skip to any saber that you prefer. I've read your comments, and something that I will do in this video that I didn't necessarily do in the previous ones is every saber I will present it like it's the first time that I show you a lightsaber. So it doesn't mean I'm going to go in depth in all of what a Xeno board can do, Xeno 3, because I already have videos on the channel for that. But I'm going to show you everything about this lightsaber. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to just give you a short, very quick reminder of some of the basic capabilities of a Xeno 3, which is the base board. And in like most dueling sabers only come with Xeno 3, and character sabers may come in Profi also. So yeah, this is so that in case you're just watching one saber that you're interested in, you will get sort of like the actual in-depth overview of this saber, understanding what it takes to have a Xeno 3 saber with you, because it is the choice that 90% of people make, taking a Xeno 3 board. So yeah, that's the little change compared to the previous monthly digest that I did. So this video overall may be quite long, but it's got chapters, so feel free to skip where you're interested to watch which saber you want to see, or also which piece of information you're interested in, because we're going to start this video with some news. It's going to be quite quick. The summer has brought a lot of sabers, but not necessarily a lot of news. What you will have noticed probably is, if you live in the United States, we have a ready-to-ship inventory that ships from New Jersey, and it was quite low at some point during this summer, but now it's been replenished. So you will find some of the most sold lightsabers out there, you know, classics like Kylo Ren, Anakin, Obi-Wan, sabers like that, Luke Skywalker, and some of our best dueling hilts that you can find ready to ship in the US if you live in the USA. This stock has been replenished, so feel free to jump in there and take any saber you want. Of course, if you order from the US, remember to only put in your basket products that are shown as available in our ready-to-ship inventory, nothing else, or else we will have to organize different shipping, and have to ask you to pay additional shipping. The system may do it for you, but you might not necessarily realize that you're ordering from 2 different facilities. So yeah, just quick reminder that it's always best to do separate orders if you're ordering from China and from the US. And lastly, I just wanted to quickly remind those who didn't see it, but I created a new playlist on YouTube, which is the First Steps with a Lightsaber playlist. And it's basically a multi-video playlist where you can find all of the basic tutorial when you're getting a lightsaber, you know, what am I expecting out of the box, and how to unbox it, how to attach the blade, how to use the lightsaber, what are the main functions, the button, where is it, the charging port, where is it, how do I charge my lightsaber, those basic questions, as well as some FAQs, some Xeno 3 troubleshooting, and showing you some tips and tricks here and there. So this is basically take your user manual and put it on steroids, on video, much easier to understand. It is the best way for you to learn how to use a lightsaber, and then use your user manual, you know, as a quick sheet to remember all of the controls of your saber. That playlist is brand new. It's been created before the summer holiday, basically. So go and watch it. If you've just ordered a lightsaber or you think of getting one, you know, go and watch this playlist. It might be helpful. Now I'm ready to dive in and go straight into all of those beautiful lightsabers one by one. So today I'm going to go in depth with two new hero lightsabers that have just been added to the saberfactory.com, and the rest here, those 5 hilts, are dueling hilts. So I'm going to start with one that has had a lot of attention since I showed it, and it's this one. It's called the Swapper. I'm just going to get rid of everything on the table and then we'll get on with it. So the Swapper. This lightsaber is, I would say, between the entry range and our mid-range for dueling lightsabers. It is called the Swapper, and you will see why in a very short second. And it is VHC. It's got a standard core that we will look at in a couple minutes. It's starting at $109 US. This lightsaber has something very special I'm quite happy to offer, and I hope that we can have more hilts like this. It offers the flexibility. If you want it, you can have just the base saber at 109, or you can have a 3 emitters pack added to your lightsaber. So you have this style of emitter, this one, or this. So those, and I'll keep on presenting it to you whilst I'm just unpacking it, are gribblies that you can attach to your hilt to create different styles for your hilt. So basically, you've got a set of screws, and you've got those 3 options to change the looks of your saber. So before I show you that third option, let me just quickly show you. I won't screw them in, but it's on this one. It's 2 screws, so it's pretty easy to add the emitter, and that's the looks that it gives it. So you have this option, and of course, because you've got different holes on your emitter, you can change the side. You can put it like this, or like this, so the button and the charging port are here. So you can choose the orientation, which is pretty cool. So that's option number 1. And then you have option number 2 is this one. So you can do it like this. You can do it like this, or you can just, you can also, put it lower. You've got another row of threaded holes here. So you can decide how you want to attach those additional elements. And the last one requires a little more work because you've got 2 screws per fin, and cue the fast forward. And there it is. So now that you have changed the looks of your lightsaber, you can switch it depending on your mood. So that's quite a cool thing. This model is 355 grams. So it really is like one of the most standard weight for a dueling lightsaber. The lightest models that we have are between 260 and 300 grams. Then the most common dueling hilts are around 330 and 360 grams. So this one sits right there. And then above 360, 380, you start to have characters lightsabers, which become a little Some of them, those that are considered too heavy for dueling, are more in the range of 500 or 600 grams. So you're good to go with this one. It is made for dueling. So yeah, not a heavy hilt, good for dueling, and those emitters, they just had a few dozen grams to it, so it's not much. This is here, like all of our dueling sabers, they come with a Xeno 3 option for your board, either baselit or NeoPixel. In this case here, it's a baselit. Classic VHC structure, meaning it is compatible with our VHC accessories. It comes standard with a coupler, so it is threaded on the other side, so you can easily attach another hilt, this one or any other that is compatible, that is VHC compatible. You can attach it here and make it a double-bladed saber. You also have a threaded hole, so if you buy our optional accessory for the Covatech wheel, you can attach your Covatech wheel here and attach the saber to your belt. Overall, so in this case, it's a 4 parts structure, which is standard. It's the grip. And then you have the button and charging port section. Here it is attached to, like this is one piece. The emitter and the button part are one piece. Then you've got this grip and the pommel, which is, in this case here, it's a coupler. So yes, it is VHC, but you do not have a separate emitter section, so you cannot remove this and put another emitter, but you can put those accessories, and they come with a pack of those 3. Now, standard use for lightsaber, you've got the button here, and on top you've got a charging port. This one has, and it's a rarity, so I mention it, this one has a little protection. Most lightsabers don't have that. It's not attached to the saber, so be careful not to lose it. If you do, it doesn't matter. It's more for the looks. It allows you to keep this very clean black look. But yeah, so your USB-C charging port is here. You turn your lightsaber on by keeping it pressed, and you only have to attach a baselit blade in this case. So your retaining screw holes are here, right at the top. I'm not going to put one because I'm not going to swing it around here in the studio. And you can change your font.
The Chosen.
And you can change color.
Color change.
You know, the classics of Xeno 3. And of course,
Color selected.
as always, you can connect your Xeno 3 app, download it on the App Store. It works on Android, it works on iOS, and you can control the color change, the brightness, the blade length for NeoPixel. In this case, baselit, it's not gonna work, but yeah, you can control a lot of settings with your app, as always, so go check it out. Then you have more modes and functions. So that now I have a different blade mode. It's not blinking anymore. It's this light pulse effect. So yeah, I've got 3 blade modes here with a baselit saber, steady, etc. So yeah, everything you can expect from a Xeno 3 saber. You've got volume control. This is the
Volume high.
3 settings, but you've got 0 to 100% setting on your mobile app, so much more precise. And you see with full volume. Like always, smooth swing. It is not like some baselit options that you can find on the market. We only have Nexus sabers because the board Xeno 3 is superior, and the baselit option is everything you can find with the NeoPixel option, just with less functions regarding the blade, because it is baselit. It is not an LED blade. But as always, yeah, the same quality you can expect. Great sound, etc. So yeah, this is the swapper. It is a so here when you add those little emitters, of course it is going to
Power off.
basically bring your hands a little lower than you would necessarily, you know, if you didn't have those emitter accessories there. So that's why it is quite a long hilt, so you can comfortably grab it with two hands. And again, as I said, it's quite light. So it's a new absolute great option for a dueling saber because it gives you abilities to change the looks depending on your mood. It gives you ability to have a Kovatek wheel. It is something that you can turn into a double-bladed staff. So it is a great new lightsaber. It only starts at 109 USD. So yeah, I think it is going to be one of our best sellers, and it's already been on the website for about a week or two, and it's already one of our best sellers. So yeah, for this week at least. So yeah, definitely consider it if you are on the market for a new dueling lightsaber. Another few things that I can say is that this emitter has cutouts, so obviously, as you've seen, the blade sits quite deep. It's basically the length of my index finger, so it is quite deep, meaning you've got a robust hold grip on your blade. When it's attached, your blade is not gonna go anywhere in this. There you go, the swapper, available now at thesaberfactory.com. And now on to the next lightsaber. And our next lightsaber is the High Lord. The High Lord is one very unique proposition in our dueling range because so it's got a lot of things for itself. First, as you can see, it's got a brushed, weathered look. It's quite bronze. If you can see it, it really looks a little bit like a bronze hilt. Of course, all hilts are made of aluminum 6063. So, but yeah, the coloring and the weathering here is quite amazing. It's not going to be to everybody's taste, but that's what I like. It's quite unique, and if you're looking for a cosplay or for something, for a training lightsaber, something that is a little more to your taste, this is going to be liked by quite a few people, I believe. Also, quite intricate engraving here. I love the geometrical pattern, and it feels good in hand. It gives it some grip. It doesn't it doesn't hurt or anything at all. It's actually quite comfortable, and yeah. I really love this one. It is a VHC saber. It is built of 4 parts. So let me break it down for you. You've got your emitter. Again, it is another deep emitter because, as you can see, those cutouts here make it that the blade sits quite deep, so it will hold your blade very strongly. Good for dueling, good for training, spinning, etc. So that's your emitter. Then you have your button and charging port section, and your grip and your pommel. Of course, because it is VHC, you can have a Kovatek module, but I recommend using just a Kovatek wheel here because you have a threaded hole. So there is no need for Kovatek module, and Kovatek module are just basic colors. Here you won't have something that matches the color of this hilt. So I don't really recommend using, a Kovatek module in between. Rather just put a wheel there. So this lightsaber is 335 grams. So again, this is it's in the low bracket of weight in terms of lightsaber, which makes it good for dueling and for training. You can have it in Xeno 3, Baselit, or NeoPixel. It starts at 149 USD, and let me get a blade to start it up. As always, pretty standard procedure. You insert your blade, you put your retention screw here. I'm not going to do it because I don't need to swing it around like crazy. And turn your saber on. You can charge it here. You turn it on. As always, you know the drill. You can change colors. You hear some beeps when I press the button, and you didn't with the previous saber. That is because you can always control your saber using the Xeno 3 app that's available for Android and iOS. And in this case, through the app, I've activated some options, and one of them being the countdown option that allows me to get this beep to know exactly how many presses and what function am I activating. So yeah, again, change sound font. You have motion controls. You can also deactivate motion controls. You have all the control in the world, as you know, from Xeno 3. Don't hesitate to go and check my videos about Xeno 3 functions. And yeah, smooth swing, flash on clash, the whole shebang. If you've got the NeoPixel option, you've got tip drag, you've got localized effects and different blade modes and blade styles that you cannot have with baselit blades due to the difference in technology. But yeah, as always, you see it's very light. And yeah, this is everything you should expect from all of our lightsabers. It's always the same thing. So, and yeah, just turn it off, put it on, and stay pressed. And after a dozen seconds, it's just going to power off.
Power off.
Power off. There you go. So this is the blade. This is the High Lord. It is an interesting option that sits a little more in our mid-range beginning of our top tier in terms of dueling lightsabers, because it has this very unique, very cool design and weathered look that other dueling sabers don't have. It is quite unique in this sense. This is the High Lord. It is available now at thesaberfactory.com, starting at $149 USD. I'm gonna go and get another lightsaber to look at in depth. This is the Counselor. It is a new mid-range lightsaber, dueling lightsaber, starting at 119 USD. It brings a little bit of color. We do have some great lightsabers that you can choose colors for, and this one, it is just a single color choice, which is this green and black with some brushed aluminum looks for those parts. And again, it's another VHC option. So you've got the top section, and here it's quite different. Another VHC possibility is you have a full button and grip section with a pommel. So of course here you can have a Covetech module, but you don't need to, because this saber comes equipped with your Covetech wheel. So that's one less accessory that you may ever need to purchase. This lightsaber has, I would say, a standard emitter depth. It's pretty classic. It's not particularly deep or shallow, whatever. It's just pretty standard. It just works. You've got your retention screw here on both sides. You have a choice. I always recommend that you only use one screw. Never put two screws, because you're basically like pinching the blade, and the best is to just put your blade in and just have one screw and just push the blade against the other side of the emitter, and you can pull as hard as you want. It's not gonna go anywhere. So that's why what I always recommend. It is a very classic core construction here. You cannot see the core when you open the lightsaber on this one, because as you've seen, it is a full grip section here with the core inside. So if you ever need to do some maintenance, remember with those core, it's a pretty classic construction. You have two screws behind. One that is it is a setting screw that pushes the port and the button in the hilt, outside of the core and in the hilt cutouts. And this one is just to attach the core to the hilt. So you remove those two screws with your included X key, and now you can slide your core out, you can access the battery, you can access the SD card. So it's just, it requires a little bit more maintenance, but it's the kind of lightsaber that also, you know, gives you a great design for in a mid-range price. This one starts at $119 US. It is very easy to use. As always, you have your visible charging port, USB-C. So there's basically nothing for you to do but just take it and turn it on.
Power on.
Again, like all lightsabers I've presented before, it is Xeno 3. You have baselit. Here in this case, it's always best for dueling, I believe, unless you have the budget for NeoPixel blades. And you also have the NeoPixel option. And yeah, if you have any questions about NeoPixels, remember to go and check my videos about all of the Xeno 3 functions. If you want to have like an in-depth in terms of how does a lightsaber work out of the box and what should I do when I receive mine, I have this new first steps playlist. It's 7 videos telling you basically everything you need to know when you start with a lightsaber before you actually go, you know, crazy, like diving in the internet to find things and tips and tricks and whatever. So yeah, if you want to know more, check out this channel. I've got plenty of content for you. But here, you remember, as always,
Color change.
I can change colors.
Color selected.
I can change my blade mode.
Standard mode.
I can change.
Steady.
So yeah, this is steady.
Unstable.
This is unstable. So I have access to more modes, of course, when I use a NeoPixel blade and that the core as its firmware set for a NeoPixel, but still, baselit, I have plenty to propose, like smooth swing. Okay. So this one, I better, yeah. So yeah, it's got smooth swing, and it's got 34 sound fonts as always, and you can use motion. You can use motion controls.
The Nut Wanderer. The Protector.
So yeah, again, very easy to use. Don't forget, you have your user manual, you have my first steps playlist now, and lots of contents on this channel. So yeah, it is a great option for anyone wanting a new dueling hilt, and the green color might appeal to a lot of people. So this is the Counselor. It's our one of our new dueling lightsabers, and yeah, it comes with a Covetech wheel. You have the ability to put a coupler, to put a quick release coupler. Any VHC accessory will work, and because it has a separate emitter section, you can also switch your emitters from different lightsabers if you have other VHC sabers. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, the Counselor. Okay, now a very particular hilt. This one is you may notice it very immediately. It has quite a reminiscent look. It looks quite like Anakin's lightsaber, but in a very simplistic version of it. That's because it is. This is called the Stunt. It is a new dueling saber starting at $129 US. And so it is a mid-range dueling lightsaber, and this one is very interesting because it basically takes you know those stunt sabers that they used on the movies. There were simplified versions of the Graflex, etc. because those, they had a lot of greeblies and things. They had activation boxes, you know, those control boxes are quite sharp and not easy to use, and when you're dueling quite fast, etc., you, yeah, mostly in the prequels, you need something that's a little smoother, a little simpler to use, and it doesn't show on camera. So this is basically that idea, is how could I look a little bit like, you know, Anakin's Grey Flex lightsaber, but still being light, easy to use, quite ergonomic. So that's it. It is this model, the Stunt. You have those little gribblies with it that can act as blade retention, blade attachment, but I'd rather, you know, show it to you. If you want to put a blade in there and you want to keep those gribblies when using the lightsaber, note that they will have to be quite unscrewed, like this. So now, yeah. So it might not be very comfortable when you're dueling, you know, to have those protruding like this. So you might maybe want to, at least those two, remove one and replace this one with a blade retention screw when you're using the saber. You know, when you're carrying the hilt on your belt, maybe you will want those little knobs on it because it looks cooler, but might not be super practical when dueling. Still, this is quite a good lightsaber for dueling because it is light, it is quite ergonomic, easy to use, easy to grab. It's comfortable with two hands, one hand. It comes with a Kovatek wheel and a D-ring. So you have those two options straight out of the box. This saber has VHC threads. This here is a very, very small thread, so I don't necessarily recommend using this one to put an additional module on it. But the rest of the saber is two parts, and so if you ever wanted to switch this grip or the other way around, you could, because this can be exchanged with another part of another VHC lightsaber. So that's it. Two parts plus the pommel cap here that has a D-ring for attachment, as well as the Kovatek wheel. It is like all of the other lightsabers that I've shown you. It comes with Xenon 3 baselit or NeoPixel. In this case, I've got a baselit, and it is smooth swing. You know, Xenon 3, you're starting to know it. It's very reactive. It's very good. You've got different blade styles, different options.
Standard mode. Standard mode. Pulse. Steady. Unstable. Color change.
As always, you can download the Xenon 3 Saber app on your Android or iOS and then connect to it. This way you have more control on your lightsaber, what it can do, the effects, the colors, the volume, everything is more detailed, you know. So yeah, so that's it. That's the Stunt. For those who want to have this hilt reminiscent of the classic Star Wars original trilogy graphics, but be capable of dueling with it, that's it. And of course, because you can separate the grip from the button section here, you have full access to your core, but you can always remove those two screws, and that's all it takes to remove your core out if you want to perform any maintenance, anything. But you have access to your SD card here, you have full access to your battery here, so there shouldn't be any need for more. That's your Stunt in a nutshell. On to the next saber. Black and gold, the shield. It's quite an original design for those who love those black lightsabers and those colored accents. This one, what I like is that the color is not just on the front of it, but also inside. So you have those golden accents inside of those cutouts, which is quite cool. Very original pommel design, very cool design. Deep emitter because you have those cutouts here where you want to see your blade shine through. So very comfortable for dueling. Not a very heavy hilt. It's 350 grams, which in the world of dueling sabers is where 85% of lightsabers stand. So yeah, it's quite alright. Let's say most dueling sabers are between 320 to 340. 350 is a tad above, but it's still a very comfortable dueling hilt. Yeah. So classic button plus USB-C for charge. It is a 4 parts VHC saber, so it is compatible with any other VHC accessory or VHC saber that has parts that could fit with it. You have full access to your core, standard core, 2 screws to remove it, battery here, your SD card slot here. So here, I've removed my SD card for work, but you always have a SD card with the sabers you order with us. So pretty standard. One thing to note, you have a threaded hole here at the bottom, and I recommend that in this case you order a Covertech wheel if you want to carry it on your belt with a belt clip that we also have in our accessories category. But I do not recommend using a Covertech module here because the pommel here is wider than the grip, and the problem that you will face is this. So you also have modules that are black, of course, but you see, it is too wide. It doesn't sit properly under the Covertech wheel here. So it's not possible to do that. So I recommend, so here you could put a coupler if you wanted to make it a double-bladed staff, but I don't recommend using the Covertech module, just by the wheel, if you ever need it. Of course, as I said, it is a 4 parts VHC, so you've got a main core in 3 parts, and you've got the pommel here. So yeah, it is another of those sabers that you can switch parts with any other of your VHC sabers. That's quite cool. And I know that the Saber Factory's catalog needed to have more VHC sabers because those are the ones that are the most in demand. For the rest, you know the drill. It's a Xeno 3 board, either baselit or NeoPixel. Remember that you can always have Profi. Simply ask me, and I can also have a Profi board installed. But it's just that on those hilts, it's pretty rare for people to ask for a Profi, so we don't have it as standard on the website, but you can always come in the chat and ask me for it. Insert your blade, if you can. There you go. You have 3 retention screw holes here for your blade. Choose one, just one. I always recommend to just use 1 screw. And then it's a standard, smooth swing. Flash on clash. It's the classic Xeno 3. It is baselit and NeoPixel share the exact same board with the exact same quality. Just you have less effects with the baselit blade, as always. And yeah, motion controls, changing colors, changing sound fonts, having different characters, sound fonts. In this case, 34 sound fonts with any Xeno 3 saber on our website. That's where you can really hear how smooth the swing is. You also have accent swings. On some of the fonts, you have accent swings. So yeah, I just love playing with them. But yeah, again, if you want to see an in-depth of what a Xeno 3 board can do and all of the functions of a lightsaber, I've got plenty of videos on this channel. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Motion controls. You can deactivate motion controls if you want with your app, Xeno 3 Saber app, available with Android and iOS, and you've got plenty of controls on your Saber. Just put your Saber here on the table, put your phone right next to it, and voila, have fun. I don't know why I said voila, I'm French. Voila. Allez, bah maintenant on passe au prochain sabre, hein? I'm kidding. Okay, next Saber. This one is the one that you've all been waiting for. I know it. Come on. Okay, maybe it's Ezra. But I'm going to start with Kestis Crossguard lightsaber. It doesn't even fit entirely in camera. But whatever. This one is crazy. I'm gonna have to show you the hilt first and then put a blade in because it is so goddamn big. But it's beautiful. It is absolutely amazing. This saber only comes with a Xeno 3 NeoPixel option. There's no profi and there is no baselet. The side blades here, they are attached to the saber. You cannot remove them. It's not an option. This lightsaber is a beauty. You can see it. It's absolutely amazing. But due to the mini side blades, I would say it's a fragile lightsaber, and I would not recommend dueling with it. I would not recommend going crazy with it and throwing it on your roof. Someone just told me today that they threw the lightsabers 10 times on the ground and on the roof of their house, and they're super happy that it's still in one piece and works perfectly. So I was like, yeah, but I was also like, what? So please do not throw this one on your roof. Yeah. So some specifics of this lightsaber. It is a slide-out core, like most characters' lightsabers nowadays. You have to open it here, because basically this is the usual size of a lightsaber, and this is where your core is. So as you may know, slide-out cores, you can turn them on and off via a power switch here. And this power switch is what allows you to save the battery from draining. And when you want to charge it or when you want to use it, you turn it on here so that you can plug the USB-C here. 5 volt, 1 amps, remember always, never more. And yeah, so that is slide-out core. Very easy access to your SD card, even if nowadays, you know, you can do 95% of what a Xeno 3 Saber can do. You can control it via the app. Xeno 3 Saber, available for Android and iOS. I'm repeating myself, but in case you just jumped to discover this lightsaber, you know. You insert your core like this. And what I find interesting with this saber is that, so it is a very, very long hilt. It's quite like a double hilt. What you can do here is you could also shorten this saber, because you can separate those different elements. You see? This here. So you need this because it acts as a stopper for your core. If you don't use this, like put this here, your core is just going to navigate, okay? So you put this here, and if you want it, you could even make it shorter. So this is this, and you could stop there, or you can also have some fun with your pommel here. So it's interesting because it is like in the video game. You could customize your Kestis saber and make it a little more your own. So, see? I could just close it here if I wanted to, you know? Like this. Or I could do something different, and so if I wanted to, I could take this coupler, for instance, and just add it here, and oops, and this, you know, I can have fun because this thread is VHC, not any other. But yeah, if you want to add a Covetech module, it is so the only possibility that you would have would be basically some sort of a montage like this. So just to show you, it is possible, but there's a little trick, and I want to show you. I'll take the opportunity of this in depth to show you. There you go. So you see there's a slight difference of height between this and this, but it's small, so it's okay. You just have to release the tension on the screw for the wheel and just rescrew it a little bit, and now you have a Covetech wheel on your Saber. But now the problem also is that you don't really have a pommel. So the only option that you have again is to have a coupler like this. It allows you to get from the female thread of the Covetech module to a male thread on which you could put this piece here. So it works. But yeah, anyway, I don't recommend doing it with the full hilt like this, because it would. So here you'd have a different thread. So in this case, it's different because you would put your Covetech module on the other way, and now you have either you need to put a the other type of coupler, so the female to female. So female to female, and then you don't really have an option for your pommel. Or the trick that I can give you, it's a good one. Take this and just screw it. It works, but now this cannot insert fully. You see, it is a little limited by the wheel, but it's okay because this will screw into this bronze piece, so it still works. So you can have a Covetech module on this lightsaber. It's possible. It requires either to use it like this, you know, or to have an additional accessory like this coupler and shorten the lightsaber by removing this part of the hilt. That's it. So outside of that, I'll just disassemble this. Outside of that, I think it is time to turn it on. So here is a NeoPixel blade, and the button is on this side. So if it's not this one, then it's this one. It's basically how it works, but it's here. Okay, so yeah, of course, because it is a Crossguard saber, it works and behaves with all fonts that have the Crossguard programmed effect. So every time you turn it on, you will have, you know, the blade and the side blades turning on with a different sound font. So just let me also show you basic functions like volume control, short press, volume low, mute, oh, sorry, volume high. And if you want more control on the volume and on many other controls of the Saber, use the Saber app for Xeno 3, available on the App Store for Android and iOS, and you will have much more control on your Saber. I just love it. So because this Saber has the core here and a very long grip section that doesn't have much holes in it, the sound is not very high. You have you have a quieter sound on this one, I have to say. Let me show you with, for instance, any other lightsabers that we've used today.
Power on.
So you see, but yeah, you won't get as much volume with this one
Power off.
due to the design. And again, choices are made in either getting a screen accurate design or getting a good Bluetooth rating, you know, because, you know, making the hilt, you know, thinner, or poking it with holes so that the sound is better or the Bluetooth access is better. But on character sabers, most of the time, the threshold has been pushed towards making it screen accurate, making it look good. So yeah, the sound is a little dimmer with this one, but still plenty fun. Of course, you can switch character sound fonts.
Protector. The Dark Empress.
Smooth swing, flash on clash, melt effect, tip drag. So yeah, and as I've demoed base lightsabers before, if you've watched, of course here you have more blade styles and blade modes.
Steady. Unstable. Rainbow blade.
Because it's a neopixel. So yeah, of course, that's the fun of a neopixel.
Candy blade. Cracked blade.
So yeah, I don't recommend hitting your lightsaber with those side blades. Of course, you have full manual control. The tension in the screws is quite good. So you know, I don't think like any movement, if I stab, it's not gonna go back. You know, if I do this on repeat, you see, it doesn't move, honestly. So it needs a little strength to move, which is good, because it means that it will stay in the position that you choose. It really looks good. Like, honestly, it almost looks cooler than in the video game, if I may, if I may say so. So yeah, that's your Kestis Crossguard. And now we're going to talk about the latest saber in this digest, which is quite long for a digest. And it's Ezra's V3, the lightsaber that he created in the Ahsoka series. Yeah, let's move this one out of the way. Ezra V3. It is an interesting lightsaber because you already know how it's going to work if you know the inspiration behind this lightsaber. Of course, it's Kanan Jarrus. So you have this hilt that can be split into, you know, you can remove the main part, the core, from the emitter section, which is quite cool. You've got a D-ring for attachment, but you could also put a Covetech wheel if you wanted to. But you have a D-ring, which is cool. So now, as you can see, this is quite a deep emitter. So when you insert your blade, quite a big chunk of your blade is going to be in the hilt, which reduces the overall length, but also makes it much more stable if you use it for dueling. I don't necessarily recommend using character sabers for dueling. It's not what they're meant to do, mostly because, you know, those activation boxes, those things here and there, they look cool, they're screen accurate, but they don't necessarily feel good when you're, you know, twisting it around, etc. So yeah, in your hand might not feel so good. But this one has a quite slick design, so that's I guess it's all right. It's an activation box with the button on the side, and of course the little LEDs here, they do work.
Power on.
And it depends on the color or the blade style that you use. It's quite cool. It's like with Luke Skywalker and other sabers using this. So for instance, if I switch
Horizon.
to this one, for instance, now as you can see, I have a different lighting setup for the control box lights. Same thing.
The dark sword.
So this is so the blade style reflects also on the way those lights behave.
The assassin.
Now it's full red. So yeah, that's the fun thing with those activation boxes. They're getting a little more refined, and also if you've seen like those new dueling sabers, now the button also is RGB and has the color that you pick for the blade, which is quite cool. So again, like all the lightsabers that we've seen so far, they're all aluminum 6063. This is a brushed aluminum, so it looks very cool. It's very much in line with the looks of Ezra's saber in the Ahsoka show. It is a slide out core, like most characters' sabers now. You can slide the core out and you have a power switch, meaning that you can very easily cut the power to and from the battery. No battery drain with those sabers. You can save your battery, and when you want to use it or when you want to charge it, you just switch it on here, and now you can use it, you can charge it. Quick access to your SD card, quick access to your battery, and your charging port USB-C here. Always use a 5 volts 1 amp when you want to recharge. Don't forget to read your user manual, and I've got even better now, as I've mentioned before, you can go watch the first steps tutorial. It's a set of videos to get you up to speed with your lightsaber when you're ready to buy one or when you're receiving yours. This lightsaber's like every other, has, you know, just one button. It's simple. You turn it on and you can change colors.
Color change.
And
Color selected.
and you can change characters. You have motion controls. You can do it like this, or you can stay pressed like this.
The assassin. The dark sword. New horizon.
So yeah, smooth swing. J'aurais dû mettre un... Okay, so I didn't put a retention screw, so yeah, I'm just going to hold it like this, but... As always, you know, flash on the clash. You've got tip drag, you've got lightning block modes, you've got so many styles and effects and modes you can activate through the app. As always, go check out your Android and App Store for iOS to download the Xeno 3 Saber app, and you suddenly unlock so much more potential, and it gets easier to use your saber because doing everything through the main button, there are lots of shortcuts. They're on your user manual, of course, but it's always a long process to memorize them over time, and not having to memorize like the 2/3 of them because you can do it on the app is always a cool thing. So I always recommend to use the app to get a better, easier access to a lot of functionalities. So that's it. All you can expect from this saber, as usual. Good blade retention in there. Very solid construction, aluminum. It's quite thick. This one has, I believe it has a 3 out of 5 Bluetooth rating because, like most character sabers, the hilt is quite thick, the pommels are quite big. Everything is really made to look very cool. And when you want to have, you know, cutouts in the design like this, different thickness, here of aluminum and stripes and all, you need to have a thicker base of aluminum. Those pieces here that go on top, they add some sort of mass that blocks the Bluetooth waves. So, a Bluetooth rating of 3 out of 5, and I have a video dedicated to this if you're curious, means that you should put your Saber and your phone close to each other and just work out the settings that you want, and it works. Sometimes, on some Sabers, it's best to just open the pommel, but yeah, probably you shouldn't need to. If you need to, it's because you might have lots of interferences from other Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or whatever. But yeah, it means that you really need to be close by. Set your Saber the way you want to, and then disconnect your Saber from the app. You will save a ton of battery, because it makes no sense of keeping your phone and your Saber close to each other whilst you're using it. So yeah, it's the way it's intended to work, and it's the way you're gonna get a 5-star experience there. Again, turn your core off. Everything's off. Now you can leave it on a shelf for weeks and you're not going to lose battery. This is Ezra V3. I'm going to give you a better look at it, because I understand that I'm moving it around a lot. Yeah. It's very cool. It is everything you expect from this replica. A lot of Ezra's fans out there, and this Saber, I know I'm late. I could have put it in the catalog 6 months ago, but I had so many other Sabers. Sometimes you gotta make a choice. If you have 120 Sabers in the catalog, it's not going to be easy for people to find what they want. And now it's kind of starting to get there. The more I add Sabers, the more the website becomes quite hard to navigate. So I think in the next few months I'm going to work on a new filtering system and a new interface on the website, so that it's easier to find exactly what you're looking for. Even though the search is quite precise, type in the name of the character you're interested in and you will find it quite easy. But yeah, so I'm adding a lot of Sabers. Don't be surprised if in the next few weeks I'm removing Sabers. Not characters. I don't think I have any reason to do that, but dueling Sabers. I'm going to replace a lot of dueling Sabers with those new Sabers, and more to come. So next month, coming up, more Sabers. Starting this first week of September, I'm going to add new Sabers to the catalog, and more and more and more. The first ones that I can already tell you are those Darth Jadis, Bastila Shan. So it's a set of 2 Sabers that also come with a coupler, and you can remove the pommels here and use this specific coupler to make it a staff. And
power off.
Okay, Sword Art Online's Kirito's Kagamitsu G4. Those who know will have recognized it. It's quite a unique proposition in the catalog. We don't have too many, anime-inspired sabers. We had Sailor Moon, and now we'll have this one. And finally, this is going to be an entry-level Obi-Wan lightsaber, just quite different from the Stunt that I showed you, because this one is still a thin neck. It still looks a lot like Obi-Wan's lightsaber, but it doesn't have the control box. It's not exactly the same design here, for the grenade section. Those are not the exact same parts as those used for Obi-Wan's replica, but it still looks so cool. And because it doesn't have the control box, you can actually use it to duel. So yeah, it is cool, even though it is still quite a short emitter depth, and it's still a thin neck. But it's you know, in between. You can use it and have fun. You can train with it. You can do a few things. It's not going to be as efficient and as strong as a dueling hilt, but it's still a new option. And also, if you're just looking for a cheaper version of Obi-Wan's lightsaber. So this is not yet on the catalog. This is not yet on the catalog. Not yet, not yet. This is coming up in September, and I will show you an in-depth of those sabers in the next digest. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can shoot them in the comments. Remember that you can always go to thesaberfactory.com on the support chat. Even if I'm not live or I have tons of messages, I always have to catch up, but you can always ask your question and I always answer. If I don't, it means it went in your spam box. So always check your junk mails. I don't know why Hotmail and some other providers, they throw all of my emails away and people think I don't reply, but I do. And I reply to every chat message. I don't necessarily reply to every YouTube or social comments because they're quite scattered across the board. But on the support chat, I always do. So if you have questions, really want an answer for, it's there. Thesaberfactory.com. It's also where you're going to find those amazing lightsabers. It was quite a new addition to the catalog. More to come. Even more to come, so stay tuned, subscribe, leave a like. I always appreciate it, and it makes me, you know, want to always produce more content like this to show you more. Thank you for watching. May the Force be with you.
Join me, leave a like and subscribe to this channel.